gentlemen, we are going to dive directly into our very first slot of the program, and that is the growth zone. Mr. Growth Mindset, happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday to you, Sido, and happy Sunday to our beautiful viewers out there. It's
How
another
is your
day to
Sunday
learn.
going?
I feel so good. I feel really good. I hope you're feeling good too. I can feel it.
Yes, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Today is Sunday, and they used to say that you should say it, and it will come to pass. Even if you are not feeling good, you should say
Yes.
that you are feeling good. Even if you are poor, you say that you are rich. But now the problem now is if I open my mouth now and I say I'm sick, that's when they'll tell me that there's power in my tongue.
Yes.
They'll tell me, no, say your talk say you are sick, so sick go joker. But if I open my mom now and say I have 10 million, they'll ask me whether money in a store. So say so that I have power in my tongue only when it comes to negative things. But when it comes to positive things, there's no power in the tongue again.
That's a big debate.
Yes.
But I think thoughts are actually very powerful. What
True.
you say, power of the tongue. You see, if you believe in the 10 million, then there's another law that you have to abide to. It's the law of process. I mean, money, you don't get money from the tree, right?
Yeah,
You have to
true.
work for it. So if you believe that you can achieve it, you will achieve it. Yeah.
That's a very, very true Mr. Growth Mindset. All right, Mr. Growth Mindset, I understand that today we'll be talking about handling uncomfortable conversations. When you told me earlier that we'll talk about handling uncomfortable conversations, the first thing that came to my mind is you just passing by the road and somebody is like, Ambrose, how you don't fat again so? How you don't dry so?
That's an interesting one,
Yeah.
although not exactly what I was thinking of when I brought up this particular topic.
Okay.
Yeah, I think those are slangs that people do tell you, but if you say that to me, Mr. Goldman say you don't fat, you don't smile, whatever. For me, I mean, it's like throwing water on a deck's bath. Have no
Yeah,
effect
that
on
might
me.
be for
So,
you, but
uh,
some people really
yeah.
take it to heart.
Exactly.
Yes.
That is why you don't need to give your they call it giving your power away. Like people that have little or no impact in your life influence you. Somebody that doesn't even know you insult you and you go home you are crying, you are depressed. Like who does that? It doesn't make sense. So if people insult you, they say things, you cannot control what people say, you cannot control what people think of you, you cannot control people's behavior, you cannot control people's actions. You can only control your reactions. So if people say whatever they want to say, I mean, one president said that nobody can make you feel inferior without your consent. That was Eleanor Roosevelt, and that makes a lot of sense. If they insult you and you don't want to take it to heart, you are fine. If you don't take it personally, you are fine. It's just that people give their power away easily and things begin to hurt them. Things that should not even be a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not good for health.
Okay, so tell me, what kind of uncomfortable conversations are we going to be learning how to handle?
Yes, just so many kind of uncomfortable conversations. I mean, it can be an uncomfortable conversation between you and your boss,
Okay.
between a wife and a husband, between you and your sibling, between a boyfriend and girlfriend. But there are just so many scenarios where we have uncomfortable conversations. And I think before even talking about how we handle it, it's important we talk about why conversations even become uncomfortable.
Okay.
Yes. You see, maybe there is a situation at work you need to address it with your boss. You have that fear that the conflict, if you talk it out to him, with him, it can escalate everything. Maybe you end up being fired. So you rather just be passive and keep it. So that fear makes the conversation so uncomfortable. Another thing is rejection. You see, there's a risk that the other person might not respond positively. So you fear rejection. That's why you are so afraid of going into that conversation. Maybe you have a problem with your boyfriend and you are like, if I open this up, I mean, it's going to be a breakup. It leads to a breakup, and for that reason you avoid uncomfortable conversations. And another reason, which is also very vital, is that during uncomfortable conversations we have to be vulnerable sometimes. You have to open up. I mean, you have to share some thoughts, some feelings, which can feel very risky. Yes, so it makes you feel that tense feeling, like you're scared. I'm sure you've been in that kind of situation where you need to have a conversation with somebody, but then you are just so tense, so nervous. And one thing again, conversations become so uncomfortable uncomfortable because we are uncertain about the outcome. You don't know how the other person is going to react. You don't know what is going to lead to. Maybe also because you've had past negative experiences. So you just feel like the last time I had this kind of conversation, it ended so
Ended bad,
badly. So
yeah.
if I get into one today, it's going to be a problem. And sometimes it's just because we're afraid that we might be hurt. Yes, so we avoid uncomfortable conversations sometimes, and we are just so scared. But then, uncomfortable conversations are crucial, and we need to understand why they are very crucial. One, it enhances relationships. If you there are conversations that you cannot handle with maybe your potential life partner, I mean, that relationship is destined to doom because they are just conversations. Regardless of how much you feel uncomfortable about it, you need to have those conversations. A conversation about money, for example, is always creates a tense situation in relationship. Money, sex, and all kind of stuff. You see, maybe you get into a relationship with somebody that says no sex until marriage. The girl says no sex until marriage, and the guy is ready for it right now. So it's going to be very uncomfortable discussing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you need to discuss it so that at least you both can be on the same page. But then when you discuss those kind of things, you discuss money, you discuss those topics that makes you so uncomfortable, I think it goes a long way to build trust. When you openly discuss those difficulties, it builds trust. If it's in a job milieu, for example, I think it promotes better collaborations. If there is a difficult topic, go talk it out with your boss. Let us be clear on this. So it's very important. So uncomfortable conversations are crucial because it enables you to build to foster good relationship. It builds trust. It brings about reconciliation in some instances. It enables parties to be on the same page, and it promotes better collaboration. So you shouldn't shy away from uncomfortable conversations. You need to make things clear. It is very important. I think we should get now to the core of the topic itself.
Okay.
How do you handle these uncomfortable conversations? I think I'm sure that's why you are eager to do.
Yeah, because there are times that you have this, okay, I want to talk about this to my partner.
Yeah.
But now you start feeling like, how do I handle this? So that he or she should not misunderstand me
Yeah.
or should not reason what I am trying to say in a
Yeah.
different direction.
Exactly, exactly. That's quite pretty then. You see, you have to be clear. You have to define your goal. Why are you getting that conversation? Maybe you are getting a conversation with your boss because you want a salary
An
increase.
increment.
Yeah, that can be quite uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But you need to be clear. What do you want to achieve? I'm getting into this conversation with my man. What what is the goal of that conversation? So you should be clear before going into that conversation. It makes you stay focused.
Okay.
You see, sometimes if you don't define the goal of a conversation, you get into a conversation, they even take you out, you say so many things, at the end of the day, nothing comes out, nothing really concrete. You don't move. Now, first thing, or I should say second thing, because the first one is you have to define a goal so that it makes you stay focused.
Yeah.
The second thing, you have to choose your moment. This is crucial. You have to identify a place and the adequate moment. The place should be very calm, that you can listen to each other. It's important. If you want to have an uncomfortable conversation in a noisy place, that becomes a problem because you'll be struggling to listen to each other. But then, since the conversation is first of all very crucial, you don't want to put yourself in very uncomfortable positions in the first place. So the place, the time is crucial. If I have a conversation that I need to handle with you, Sidora, maybe I'll send you a message like, Sido, I need us to talk about our program this maybe, and I don't know when you are available. We need to talk about this. Yes, you see, well, you can come and reply. Wednesday, 1 p.m. Okay, so we make it a date. So we sit and discuss. We decide the location and all of that.
Yeah.
But then the location more is very important. The timing too, because you want to make sure that the other party is coming in with a prepared mind. They have made their mind, I mean, ready for that conversation, so that you easily find a solution. The next thing is that you have to start softly.
Okay.
Use the I statement. Now, I want to emphasize on this. The I statement is very important. When you get into a conversation, you should avoid using the you often. You did this, you did that.
Okay.
Sido, you never call me. Sido, you never did this.
So
you
how should I
never,
say I now? Should say I'm the one that was not doing
it's
it.
better to put it this way.
Okay.
It's better to use the I statement, right? So if you're having a scenario where you need to say, uh, you did not listen to me when I was speaking, it's better you say, I feel that I'm not listened to the last time we had a conversation. You understand?
Okay.
Once you see you, they become defensive. It's you often like you see personal attack.
Okay.
So if you keep saying you, say I, and you can go a step forward and just use we instead. You realize that each time you use a we statement, at least the person is at peace. If we tell person in a conversation, I think we need to find a solution as far as this problem is concerned. That's the way they see it. It's different from you need to fix this, you need to find a solution. Like
Okay.
you see,
Yeah.
because our work is important, because I value you, I think we need to find a solution so that we can work in a more conducive environment. It makes sense that way. But if it's always you, it just make people feel attacked. Yeah, so avoid the I statement. Okay, state your positive intention. So when you don't listen to me, when the last time, let me make it clear, let me put it in a very practical situation so that at least viewers understand it better. Okay, let's say maybe we are having a conversation and the last time you didn't consider my opinion at all, you didn't listen, nothing, you just did things the way you wanted. Okay, I'll say the last conversation we had last Wednesday about money, I felt that I wasn't hurt. I wasn't hurt. My concerns weren't taken into consideration. I say now you're talking about you. You are stating your feelings. It's not about the other person. Now, if you start telling the person you make me feel hurt, you make me this, you make me this, the person start getting angry and they become defensive. So the I is very important. Now let's make progress. 4, listen actively. I think listening is one of the most underrated skills, but listening is so important because people don't listen. They say it's important that you listen to understand. You listen to understand, and many people, when you are conversing with them, they already are planning what they will say
What
after.
the answer, yes.
So regardless of what you see,
You already have the
you,
answer.
you waste your time.
Yeah.
I mean, once you are done, they just come on with what they have prepared. So once you are even speaking to them, they are rehearsing their answers already. So it's important to listen actively. Listen. The first thing is that you understand properly what the person is about to say. That's the first thing. So prioritize listening. Ensure that you are also getting the perspective of the other person. I think if only we can develop good critical thinking skills, it will go a long way to really enhance cohesion in our different communities in the society. So learn to listen actively, learn to ask follow-up questions. What do you mean? Sometimes you rephrase the response so that you understand it better. Are you saying that? Do you mean that? Those are things that are important. So you need to understand, prioritize understanding, and for that you have to listen passively. And that is why when you're listening, for example, in a distracted era like ours, set your phone aside. You want to make sure that you give your full attention
Yeah.
and you listen with active listening. I mean, not passive. I mean,
How many
you
people
see,
really listen actively, especially
yeah,
talking about the phones?
exactly.
You
We're
sit,
too
you sit,
distracted.
you be in a group, and you guys are five of you. Everybody is on their phones,
Yeah.
and it's like you are in a meeting with your phone and not with
Yeah.
people. It's very difficult now to
It's
actually
very
have
difficult.
personal conversations.
Yeah.
You hardly get to know people on a personal note
Exactly.
because it's the phone.
It's the phone.
Yeah.
And again, in uncomfortable conversations, it makes it worse. Yeah, it makes it worse. Imagine you have to talk something very crucial to somebody and they're on their phone. It doesn't just make sense. For me, I think it's disrespectful to an extent. So it's very important. Number 5, make sure that you stay calm. Manage your emotions by taking deep breath. Focus on the objective. I mean, sometimes emotions can get hot and you might get even violent, verbal violence, which is not good. So make sure that you stay calm. You came to look for a solution. So make sure that you keep, I won't let this get out of hands. Let's see, we are going to find a solution for this. That's why sometimes in conversations I tell people, if you keep shouting that we are not going to find a solution. Yes, I'm ready for us to fix this. I'm ready for us to talk. But if you keep shouting, if you keep being violent, we are not going to make progress. So, of course, if they are intentional, they want to be calm, they want to manage their emotions better so that we can make progress. Let's get to number 6. Number 6, remember you're coming into a conversation so that you both seek solutions together. So focus on finding a path forward, making both parties invested. Yes, I think I've already mentioned that in a very succinct manner, but then you came so that you find a solution to a problem. Make sure that you stay focused, and it's a you thing. It's between two persons. You don't want to put it all on one person. Yeah, the other person is ready to listen when you know it's a we something. So this is very important. Now, the last tip of the day, I think this is very, very important. Avoid using absolutes. Never, always. Now, let me tell you a story. Sometimes I was with my kid sister at home, and I actually dished food from the pot I was eating, and I forgot to close the pot, and she came in and she told me that you've allowed the pot open, you never close the pot. I mean, immediately I was about getting defensive. How can she say I've never closed the pot? You see, it doesn't make sense. So each time you use never, never is an absolute. I mean, the next thing is that the person will tell you that yesterday I ate and I closed the pot. So when you're having an uncomfortable conversation, avoid absolute. You want to be more specific. You be more specific, because when you say never or always, it is hardly true. You never listen to me. You always come late. I might just remind you of one day I came early and the conversation is closed and we're no more discussing. So make sure that you avoid those absolute. Instead of saying you never listen to me, be specific. I'll go back to our conversations again. Last Wednesday we were having a conversation. I felt unheard. Be specific about the day, being specific about the time. Because when you use never, always, it fuels the tension. I'm sure you've been in that situation. Somebody tells you, you never do this. You never called me. You always avoid me. You always avoid me. So those are absolute you should avoid when it comes to handling conversations, especially uncomfortable conversations. I believe that if you apply these tips, you are going to have better interactions, especially those interactions that are so filled with tension, that makes you so uncomfortable. The kind of conversation that we dread. Yeah, maybe you want to talk it out with your boss or your wife, and the tension just rises. It makes you so nervous. So these tips are very important for us to apply.
Thank you very much, Mr. Growth Mindset. Like I said, every Sunday
Yeah.
we have an aspect about our life that we grow in, and it's so beautiful. Now you've made us to understand to having healthy conversations
Yeah.
actually help in healthy relationships, not only partner relationship, but even
Siblings.
co-workers, people around us.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much
I
for
want to
bringing
just say
this topic.
something. I want to
Okay.
emphasize that these are general tips, right? But we have so many kind of uncomfortable conversation. So each time you want to apply each of these things, make sure that you are contextual, right? Because a wise person takes advice and you are able to contextualize in your own uncomfortable conversations. You might not need all the tips for this for each conversation. Understand? So you have to be smart, you have to be wise. We keep learning, we keep growing.
Thank you for today, Mr. Growth Mindset, and we are looking forward to what you have for us next Sunday.
It will be a pleasure, of course.
Yeah, before we go, any last words for our viewers out there for today?
Well, what should I say to our wonderful viewers? Keep following Star TV, keep being intentional about your growth, and of course, just know that you can always improve. Just be open to learning, have a learner mindset, and don't be rigid to all ideas. If you have an idea and a new idea comes up, if it's better, be ready to let go all ideas so that you can move forward. That's an open mindset. That's the growth mindset.
Thank you, Mr. Growth Mindset, for today. We are looking forward, like I said, for next Sunday and what you have for us. Have a blessed Sunday, Mr. Growth Mindset.
Thank you so much, Sido. It was a pleasure being part and parcel of Sunday Live.
All right, that was the Slot Growth Zone with Mr. Growth Mindset on Sunday Live on Star Television.